Thank you for your company. Now, in our first story, President Akakpo is demanding from the Ghana Armed Forces a robust posture that deters potential aggressors from destabilizing the country. Ghana's northern borders have seen the deployment of security personnel to counter potential terrorist attacks following instability in the neighboring countries. The president was speaking at a ceremony to present machines, armored vehicles, and communications gadgets to aid the fight.
Today, I'm here to commission and present to you 70 KAMAZ utility troop-carrying vehicles, 20 BTR 70 armored personnel carriers, 20 Husky armored vehicles, 65 assorted Toyota vehicles, and a number of communication equipment. I have no doubt that these vehicles and equipment will go a long way to help the Ghana Armed Forces contain the security threat from violent extremist and terrorist groups operating along our northern borders, other internal security challenges, as well as support external peacekeeping operations. I want to commend you for your commitment to the ongoing operations, especially Conquered Fist, Motherland, Gong Gong, and Halt 2, which are intended to create a secure, peaceful atmosphere in the northwestern, northern, and northeastern borders of the country, to contain secessionist activities and to deal with the Galamsey menace respectfully. I urge you to continue to collaborate with the Ministries of National Security, Interior, Foreign Affairs, and the Ghana Revenue Authority, as well as all other public stakeholder agencies, to ensure that we maintain a robust posture that will deter potential aggressors from derailing the political and socio-economic gains achieved so far.
Now, the National Democratic Congress wants an immediate dismissal of all ministers pointed to in the Auditor General's report on government's COVID-19 expenditure. The Auditor General's report indicated that these ministers were implicated in various violations, including the Ministry of Health's inability to retrieve some $8.1 million out of the $120 million paid for COVID-19 vaccines. The NDC also wants the special prosecutor to investigate and prosecute all officials who have been cited in the report for wrongdoing. Sami Jemfia is National Communications Officer of the NDC.
The NDC hereby calls on the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament to expedite its public hearings on this special audit report into COVID-19 funds. This hearing should be televised live for the Ghanaian public to follow and be apprised of how their government expended COVID-19 funds. Secondly, we urge Parliament to compel the Auditor General to exercise his power of surcharge and disallowance to retrieve all COVID-19 funds that have been misapplied or misused through various infractions and veritable acts of criminality. The Supreme Court has been very clear on this. The Auditor General owes this a duty to this country. His report is not enough, and we want to see him taking concrete actions, surcharging people and retrieving these stolen monies, which can be used to build schools, which can be used to provide food for our children in secondary school, which can be used to build hospitals, which can be used to improve the lives of our people. While at it, ladies and gentlemen, we call on the special cited in the report for wrongdoing and bring them to book. President Akakpo, this time around you must do something before you die. You must immediately fire the Minister of Finance, the Health Minister, the Minister of Information, or should I say misinformation, the CEO of the National Food Buffer Stock Company, and all other public officials, be them political appointees or civil servants, who have been cited in the Auditor General's report for violating the laws of the country in their expenditure of COVID-19 funds. And if he fails to do so, we are telling the perpetrators of this heinous crime that the day of reckoning and accountability will surely come for them.
Well, from the NDC, let's go to the NPP. And one-time flag-bearer aspirant of the New Patriotic Party, Francis Adainimo, says he is the new face of the NPP and needs to break the 8 in the 2024 elections. He made the pronouncement as he announced his intentions to contest the flag-bearership of the NPP. Mr. Adainimo said, apart from his 7-point transformational agenda, he was bringing a new energy needed to revitalize the NPP for victory in 2024.
Francis Adainimo first joined the NPP flag-bearer race in 2016 and placed third. He is going again this year with the hope of beating the likes of Alan Tremanting, Dr. Akakpo, Kennedy Ejapon, and others who are expected to declare their intentions in the coming days. Former Mampong legislator will campaign on a 7-point socio-economic transformational agenda.
The first one is on agriculture and food security. Man must eat. Everybody must eat. So if you start talking about how you are going to space, how you go to space on a rocket that you have no idea about, or how you dive and try to get to the bottom of the sea, meanwhile you are hungry. So man must eat. You have eaten, you have gone to school, you have good health. What again? You need employment. So the 4th point is on employment and entrepreneurship.
He says he is the new face and unify the NPP need to break the 8 in 2024.
That allow me to emphasize that our country and our party NPP needs a fresh, new face and audacious leadership objectives that will propel us into a more prosperous future. This is the direction our movement has determined for this leadership campaign, and I accept the challenge. A new phase enabling the NPP to break the 8.
Mr. Adainimo's campaign is endorsed by a founding member of the NPP, Dr. Yahu Tamaklo. He describes Mr. Adainimo as a man of integrity who can transform the fortunes of Ghana.
He's the only one who can unite this party. Let me warn the delegates. This is just a brief statement that I'm making. You'll see more of me. I want delegates to be very careful. If you miss this man, you will regret terribly.
In a possible event of special college elections, Mr. Adainimo is proposing a change in the process to promote a free and fair election.
The objective is that you are going to shortlist. So I am proposing that each delegate should be given the freedom to select 5 persons of his choice, not one. Because you are not looking for a winner or predicting the winner. You are rather reducing the number from, let's say, 10, 11, 15 to 5.
Some supporters of the party are optimistic Francis Adainimo will emerge flag bearer of the party.
He was talking about all inclusiveness, fairness, equity, so that we all come on board as Ghanaians. He's talking about the development where everybody, wherever you are, all walks of life, from the rural areas to the urban areas, children, adults, everybody, whatever you do, we all benefit. And we think we need a new direction. And Honorable Adainimo, we think he will do a fantastic job.
I get to know that in his speech, he uses a word that inspired me. And if all of us are going to vote for him, then I think that as Shama, we here supporting Adainimo and all the constituencies, he will surely win.
We need a new face.
And looking through all of them, I think, in my perspective, that Adenimo is a very humble person who can change the fortunes of Ghana and even uplift the image of the MPP party, which is rather now sinking deep.
The new Patriotic Party is yet to announce a roadmap for this year's presidential primary race. James Kwesi Aveji's report for Joy News.
Now, family of popular gospel musician Perpetual Didier has indicated its readiness to sue the Ghana Police Service if investigations are not expedited. Didier took to social media on Monday to narrate how his brother, Shadrach, who went shopping at the West Hills Mall in Weija, was tortured by the police till he died. Here's Mapito Sibidi's report.
At the West Hills Mall, where an unfortunate incident occurred on Monday, 30th January at about 3:15 p.m., which resulted in the death of 32-year-old Shadrach Alo. We understand the Police Professional Standards Bureau has commenced investigations into the alleged murder by some police officers. I have been speaking to some eyewitnesses.
Today, some guy who police for no more nice like who police for no Johnny, but no moon who the NTR who police on John Mutano. It was good so no muchin script for no more honey. Some mudi shocker, a better shocker no muchin good handcuff. Until who say Mushock na or Mujan Hokana police for no soon no mudino call hospital or morning inside friend Sonny take.
I am Pacho Endra, my bedroom more Hana, yes, you Gaibi. Not that a mono na me who ya member to us a monoso. Now a mono da hospital ne in Chenha say. Aha. Na police phone so agent or more may name the Omoye the AB Omoye investigation efa asamono. Right so their minimum no because now some sense and I member too so. Emono da hono. Na yes guy be ne kono. Me buy na guy no she t-shirt blue na handcuff eguno egunensa na yes guy na eku no e electric
Management of the mall have released a statement. The management of West Hills Mall hereby confirms that an incident occurred on its premises in the afternoon of Monday, January 30, 2023, which unfortunately resulted in a fatality. By eyewitnesses and more security personnel accounts, at approximately 3:15 on January 30th, a visitor was confronted by a police officer and was asked for his bag for examination. Now, the police officer suspected the customer, a young man between 25 and 30 years, of possessing drugs or banned substances. Now, the accounts indicate that the young man hesitated, removed something from his bag and swallowed it as the policeman approached him. West Hills 24-hour security surveillance system captured footage of the officer apprehending the young man, as well as another man who accompanied him as they headed for the main entrance of the mall in an attempt to handcuff the young man. A struggle between the two parties ensued while the police officer tried to handcuff him. Now, he was eventually handcuffed but stopped struggling and appeared unwell after that. The police subsequently removed the cuffs from his hands and more security arranged for transportation for him to be taken to the medical facility on site. Sadly, he was pronounced dead by medics upon arrival. Meanwhile, gospel musician Perpetual Didier has been demanding justice for her brother.
Our brother, our son, our family member is dead. And he didn't just die a normal death, but it was something that we have all seen. He was killed, and it's not accident. So we are just pleading to the government, to the IGP, to everybody, any powerful man in this country that we have, that we deserve justice, which we are Ghanaians.
Reporting for Joy News from the West Hills Mall, Weija, I am Mapito Sibidi.
Now, some mechanics who were forcibly ejected from Bwedi Junction in Kumasi are calling for the intervention of government after city authorities demanded 500 Ghana cedis for each vehicle towed from their shops. MCE for Oforikrom told Love News the assembly had to forcibly eject them because they were occupying the entrance of a school. But letters written to the artisans and cited by Love News indicated their presence was inviting armed robbers. The stranded artisans say they cannot afford money demanded by the authorities. Love FM's Erastus Asari Donko was at the scene and reports.
This spot has served as a workshop for these mechanics for close to 15 years. But the MC for Forukrum, Abraham Kwame Entry, says they had to forcibly eject them because authorities of a local school, Mansell, wants them cleared of their frontage. But the artisans showed our news team letters from the assembly which indicated their presence poses a security challenge to the community.
Our worry is the undue charges that we have allowed armed robbers to use this place as a hideout. They tried manipulating the owner to sack us, and she refused. They started sending us evacuation letters after the woman left.
And
we are in the moment where we have many school fees to cover. Please speak on our behalf.
These artisans, mechanics, have been working here for over 15 years. The MC for Forukrum says this school, Mansell's, has requested that they move them from this place. And so they have, in a couple of days ago, moved and towed forcibly a number of vehicles from this yard to the nearest police station. Now they are demanding 500 Ghana cedis each for the towed vehicle as towing fee. And the mechanics are angry.
They are taking 500 cedis for all the cars they towed. We towed all the cars we had, including the automatic ones. You need to see the condition they have left these cars. Some of them are getting destroyed. Why should this happen?
In fact,
a resident of the community, popularly known as Big K, took the evacuation exercise to another level, cutting down all ornamental trees nurtured over the years at the workshop.
If they want to throw away our source of income, it will then pave way for robbery.
I have been here for long and seen these mechanics work. They assist us every time.
All the trees have been cut off. I asked, and I was told a man hired someone to fell all those trees I planted. I have worked here for over 15 years. The government should reverse this directive. We do our work diligently without causing harm to anyone.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus.
Now, the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital says it is grappling with a number of patients who are unable to settle their medical bills. Such patients, they say, come from poverty-stricken homes in the Ashanti region and beyond. Many of them, according to staff of the hospital, either extend their stay or flee the hospital premises to avoid footing medical expenses. Health workers who have been supporting such patients out of sympathy say it is eating into their finances. Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong has more in this report.
Grace has been delivered of twins at the maternal ward of the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital. The mother of 4 was discharged a week ago, but she is forced to stay at the ward because she cannot afford her bills, totaling 1,900 Ghana cedis. She has spent another week with no help in sight.
Forced labor na dimbe pie ha. Metiebu akwa agu. Forced labor awo ya na dimbe pie ha say. Hospital bed ya ne de. and any more than because I can overturn going in so over tree base kakraka. It's no more than
Grace represents what is becoming Konfanochi Teaching Hospital's headache. Growing number of patients who cannot pay their medical bills. Here at the maternity ward of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, a number of patients continue to occupy bed space after their discharge because they have no money to settle their bills.
Oh, why am I fashion? I mean, yes, can you say you be treating a crank? Because 90 million, you know, it is ano. You be treating 5 million now. Not a baby, when you're my eye, better at now. Was saying you be a no arbitrary so baby. None can be coffee. A quiet committee my first one because means me could react the intimate shame found.
Some mothers in labor come without sanitary items and materials needed for labor and the newborn babies. In most cases, nurses have to foot their bill from their private pockets. Ethia Sewayebe is Chief Nursing Officer and the Nurse Manager for ONG Directorate at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital.
Sometimes they come in, even for the babies they don't have. We buy diapers for them. Even sometimes feed them food for them because the person has delivered and she wants to eat heavy food like fufu and things. Sometimes we go to the extent of buying them fufu, lunch and supper to enable her get enough breast milk to feed the baby. So it's been a headache for the ward in charges and the ward in charges in particular.
This came to light when gospel sensation Dinah Entry Hamilton paid a visit to the hospital and paid the medical bills of some mothers at the ward. She also promised to sponsor others in various vocations.
These mothers, obviously, they are in a hospital, need to go home. And some of them, the kids don't have fathers. There's this particular one who lost her husband while she was in labor. So child hasn't seen the father. And so it wasn't, we're singling out women in this particular instance. It just had to happen. It had to be a woman. But we do pay fees for a lot of young men as well.
Dinah Hamilton also visited the homes of some disadvantaged women in Kumasi, donating beverages, cash and chest freezers to help sustain their crippling businesses.
The aim is health promotion and education, and so we do help a lot of women in health. We do help a lot of young girls, sometimes not just even in physical health, but mentorship. We sit down with men and talk to them generally about things pertaining to life. And when we get the chance, we just need to make sure that it falls within the capabilities of the foundation, the Dinah Hamilton Foundation.
This donation was part of the annual philanthropic initiative of the Dinah Hamilton Foundation. It was done in partnership with the Casapreco Company Limited, Enterprise Life Insurance Limited and Property Electronics. Mona Lisa Frimpon reporting.
On that charitable note, we cap off the news. Stay with us for the news review. Up next.